All right, guys, welcome. Let's start the week off on a good note. We have an 11-game NBA slate to go over today. A good amount of news that we're still waiting on that will definitely change the slate. So, should be a fun one. We got some recent news with the Cavs. Jared Allen, doubtful, now game time decision. We'll see about that. Obviously, we're waiting on a couple other things as well. Dame, people think he's more on the probable side. We'll see. We're waiting on Jimmy Butler. Fred VanVleet's questionable. Again, Jared Allen, like I mentioned. So there is DeAndre Ayton's questionable as well. So a decent amount that could definitely change this slate. So we're going to have to be fluid and be ready to make some changes for this one. But if you guys are just coming in, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you do enjoy all the content. And yeah, again, this will be a Q&A live stream, so make sure to leave some questions in the chat. I'll do my best to answer them all. Let me refresh, make sure we're all up to date on news, and I think we're good to go. Yeah. So yeah, guys, leave some questions in the chat. Bill, what's up? So let's see. You have Dinwiddie, Caruso, Townhorn, Tucker, AD, Jokic, Holiday, Kuzma, and Highland. Okay, so a little more of a stars and scrubs build, but there's some good value in there. Yeah. Aaron Holiday played 35 minutes last game. The only issue I have with Aaron Holiday is I think he might be a little bit over-owned, right? We saw two previous games when Beal was out where he played like low to mid-20s minutes. So I'm not sure we can project him to play 35 minutes again, and I think the field will overreact. So that's my only issue with Holiday. He could play 35 minutes again. You never know. But I just think he might be a little bit over-owned on this 11-game slate. Lonzo Revenge, yeah, I think he's fine. He's been kind of frustrating this year on the offensive end. He's taking a back seat. Levine and DeRozan are really kind of doing the heavy lifting on the offensive end. Do I think Lonzo's fine at this price? Sure. He doesn't really stand out, but I don't think he's a terrible play either. Are you on McGee? Well, the question here is DeAndre Ayton going to play? Because obviously if Ayton plays, I have no interest in McGee. If DeAndre Ayton is out, then it kind of depends for me what other news breaks, right? Is Lillard out? Is Simons then like a great value? Is Jimmy out? Are the Miami guys great values their price? Like, it kind of depends what happens there. Let's just say this. If everyone that is questionable is in and then DeAndre Ayton gets ruled out, then I'm probably going to play McGee, and that means you guys should not. So it kind of depends on me how the news breaks. So right now I'm just waiting for more news. You had Kaminsky and McGee last night. See, when they were both like 3.5K, that's when I would be fine doing that. At their prices now, it doesn't make a ton of sense. Like, you're really going to need that ceiling game from Kaminsky. So, yeah, I can see it against Cat. Baisley's one other one, right? He's just questionable, though, right? He's not out, right? I didn't read that wrong. Yeah, he's questionable. There's so many different ways that could go for this that I might just stay away. Like, if you want to roll the dice in a Pokashevsky, a Kenrich Williams, sure. The way the Thunder rotation has gone this year, I don't really want to deal with it, to be honest. McGee might be played off the court by Cat floor spacer. Well, like, the thing is, sure, he's not going to probably chase Cat to the three-point line, but Karl-Anthony Towns is going to absolutely abuse Frank Kaminsky inside, right? Kaminsky has zero chance on the inside. So McGee has a better chance at least of like defending Cat inside. Sure, so it's like give and take, right? With McGee, yeah, Cat can hit some threes on him. With Kaminsky, like Karl-Anthony Towns is just going to dominate him down low. Yeah, Mobley or Porzingis. It depends on Jared Allen. I need Jared Allen news. Gary Trent revenge game. He's always viable. He'll play like 35 minutes basically every single game. So whether or not he hits his shots, I can't tell you. Like, he's always in play for me, but like he does still have a low floor if he doesn't hit shots. Who benefits with Jared Allen out? Depends what they do with the starting lineup. So like they can move Chetty in the starting lineup. They can move Dean Wade down a spot. There's a lot of different ways they can go here. So I'm kind of just waiting to see what they do. Like they could go a little bit more small, right? They could go They could play Mobley at the 5. Again, they can move Dean Wade down a spot. Ed Davis, I believe, yeah, he's on this roster. So, like, he could play some minutes possibly. So, yeah, it really depends what they do with the starting lineup for Cleveland. Capella, Turner, Robert Williams. Capella there. Chances Dame plays tonight. So, like, I've been getting messages on Twitter, even in the Discord, that people are saying, like, Dame's going to play. I still see him as questionable. So, yeah, he was trying to push to play last night. That doesn't just guarantee he's going to play tonight, too. So I still think it's pretty 50-50. I guess the industry is kind of adjusting and thinking he plays. But, like, until I see Damian Lillard playing, I'm like, let's just say this. The industry overreacts. Everyone thinks Dame's going to play. And then what happens, maybe the Portland's laking. What happens, we get 8:30, 8:45 Central, Damian Lillard out. And then no one has a spot for Anthony Simons or CJ McCollum. So I'm still playing at it as he's questionable. I know kind of the field thinks he's going to play, but I'm still waiting it out. Caruso, Hero, Doncic, Davis, Powell. Yeah, so, like, there's no issue with that lineup. I will just say Norman Powell, as I said on Patreon yesterday, his role doesn't really change with Damian Lillard out. Like, the only thing that will really change with his usage is he probably gets more shots up. But, like, he's not a guy that's going to be handling the ball a ton. He's not a guy that you're going to be, like, Norman Powell pick and roll, right? No, he's still going to be a guy that's going to be, standing in the three-point line, shooting threes. Obviously, the big bump is the massive usage bump in CJ McCollum and the massive usage and minutes bump for Anthony Simons. Yeah, so that's one where it's like, you could take the easy route and just go Aaron Holiday. But, like, in my opinion, Anthony Simons has way more upside if Dame gets ruled out. But again, like, the field thinks Dame's going to play. So, but you also have the late game Chicago and the Lakers where there's some value in that game too. So I think it might make some sense to leave some spots for that late game. There's Miami news is one of the Miami's a later game, Blazers is a later game, and then you have a ton of value still in the late game itself in Chicago and the Lakers. Guys, make sure if you're just coming in to hit that like button. We're already at 100 concurrent viewers. Appreciate you guys. Let's see. Dinwiddie, Bones. Yeah, so Bones is another guy I like for tournaments. I don't think I can recommend him with confidence for cash, but he's actually getting minutes now, as he should be. Imagine this again. How on earth could you play Austin Rivers over Bones Highlander in this? That makes no sense. He's been playing low 20s minutes on the bench and is playing really well. So I don't think he's going to be super popular with all the other value on the slate, but I think he's a good tournament play. Thoughts on Cedi Osman? He looks a lot better if Jared Allen gets ruled out because I think it's just more minutes for Cedi. I think people can move down a spot. Mobley can move to the 5. Dean Wade to the 4. Cedi, that's just more minutes for Cedi, right? So he would look a lot better if Allen gets ruled out. Dinwiddie or Kuzma? I don't have a super strong take on that one. There are a lot of good guard plays, so that there's the opportunity cost of using one of your guard spots. But Dinwiddie looks really good, and Kuzma obviously looks really solid as well. Cedi versus Herter probably would be Cedi for me. Switching out the Heat guys if Butler plays is really easy, so I'm going to going with them. And yeah, again, have a plan, right? So I think that's smart. Ooh, over under on Stafford 301 yards. Probably over. Yeah, I know. The Knicks bench has been getting more run. Burks has been the minutes are ticking up on him. I still don't necessarily trust it. I think they're going to kind of go with the hot hand situation. So there's still a chance that Alec Burks plays 18 minutes tonight, and I wouldn't be surprised. So he's playable, but I'm not convinced he's going to be playing 25 plus minutes every single game. Bones or Monte Morris? If you have the salary, I think Monte's safer because I think he plays more minutes. But I think Bones is a solid tournament option. McGee, it depends on Aiden. Obviously, if Aiden plays, I have no interest. But it also depends on what the other questionable players, like who ends up sitting, who ends up playing. So like I can't really say right now and what I want to do with McGee. I know a lot of people are coming to see if they should play McGee or not, but like I honestly can't say right now. Ja for GBP, yeah, I'm fine with Ja. The only issue is Dylan Brooks coming back. That does affect his usage a little bit. Anthony Davis feels chalky after last game. I don't know if he's going to be super popular, but I think he should be able to have his way against the Bulls front court. Like the Bulls have no one they can defend Anthony Davis with. Yeah, I think THT looks good for value. And then Metu did start last game. If he starts again, he's another good point per minute guy. So, yeah. Will White affect Caruso's minutes? I think so. Like I don't think Caruso plays 40 minutes or whatever. It was like 38, 39. I think Caruso maybe goes back down to like 30 minutes. But still at that price point will look decent. Also, you got the revenge game narrative in there as well. Anthony Davis or Tatum for me. Cheaper Wizards players besides Holiday. A little bit interested in Raul Neto. That's one of those situations where I mentioned at the beginning of I think the field's going to overreact based on one game. Right? We saw 35 minutes, and that's obviously really good to see. But there was two other games so far that Beal missed, and Aaron Holiday played like 23 and 24 minutes. I think this is one of them where he played against Atlanta, played 24 minutes and went for 13 fantasy points. So there's still like a situation where Raul Neto, I know he only played 17 minutes, but like there's a chance like he plays similar minutes or maybe even more than Aaron Holiday, and he's going to come in at no ownership. Right? No one's going to play Raul Neto. So I think Neto's good to pivot in tournaments. He's also a better point per minute fantasy player. So if you just roll the dice, maybe hope like Aaron Holiday gets off to a slow start and maybe they close the Neto. I think Neto makes all the sense in the world in a large field tournament over Aaron Holiday. Caruso with Kobe White back. He's still in play. I don't think he plays 38 minutes, but I think low 30s is a pretty fair guess. Yeah, I honestly, I'm struggling with Tatum a little bit too. I like the price point on him. I think ownership's going to be pretty low. I think you kind of just throw that last game out the window. I know the Cavs have been solid defensively, but I think I'm still fine going back to Tatum. I don't think I go to him in cash games, but for tournaments, I think he's still in play in 11-game slate. Westbrook unplayable? Yeah, I mean he's a little bit overpriced. He's not unplayable. He can still have an upside game, but like 10-8 is just too pricey in my opinion. So yeah. You can still overpay for Westbrook and hope maybe he just has like one of those random ceiling games. But yeah, I think he's overpriced. Garland's kind of just like a filler play for me. Doesn't really stand out, but he's solid. Utility 4,700. So let's take a look at that range. I think Duncan Robinson makes a pretty good play, especially if Jimmy Butler gets ruled out. He's been playing massive minutes. This game he was in foul trouble. This game was the game Jimmy went down. He played 45 minutes, not to overtime, but 40 in regulation. This game he played 34. So like, I think if Jimmy Butler gets ruled out, we probably get like mid-30s minutes from Duncan Robinson. Even though he's reliant on the scoring, I think he would make for a pretty good play. Thoughts on Mobley if Allen's out? I need to see what the Cavs do the starting lineup. If Mobley starts at the 5, that would make me like him more. Anthony or Schroeder? I'll take the discount on Schroeder. Yeah, I think D'Angelo Russell's too cheap for the amount of minutes he's playing right now. Right, the issue with him earlier in the year was just he was not getting enough minutes. Right? He was playing like 28 to 30. Well, 41 in overtime, so 36 in regulation, 34, 34, and 30 in a blowout. So like, if he's going to play about 35 minutes a game, 7-1 is too cheap. The only issue, obviously, is the matchup is not the best. But, yeah, I do have some interest in D'Angelo Russell. I think more of a tournament option. Raps get eaten alive by anyone who dunks and scoops boards. You're taking a shot at Nurk DK. It's just the minutes, right? I get it, but just like he's not getting enough minutes for me. The price has come down a little bit, but I don't know if it's come down enough. So I'm probably not going to go there. So Mobley depends on Jared Allen for me. And Bam obviously Bam looks good, I would say, either way. But if Jimmy gets ruled out, he looks really good. And then Christian Wood does feel a little bit too cheap. So it's hard for me to rank without the news of Jared Allen and Jimmy Butler right now. Richardson or Tony Bradley. So that's one where it's like, all right, how many minutes do we think Tony Bradley plays? Like, can the Bulls go small against the Lakers? I don't know if they can, but like I don't know if they want to play Tony Bradley like 30 plus minutes either. So like the safer option probably is Josh Richardson, because I think the Bulls can still do a lot of different things. Maybe Alize comes back, Alize Johnson comes back in the rotation. Maybe they do try a small ball lineup. So like again, there's no really safety in Tony Bradley's minutes. Where Josh Richardson, we know his role. He's going to play probably closer to 30 minutes off the bench. Bradley, which Bradley? Tony Bradley, Avery Bradley, obviously not Bradley Beal. I think people should probably fade Holiday and save spots for late games, Caruso, maybe Simons. It kind of depends, right? So like I think there's more upside in potential guys in those later games, but there's also a little more risk. So I guess it like how chalky is your lineup? You know, are you more willing to take risks? Thoughts on Talon Tucker? If he starts again, and I assume he does, he's a good value. Chetty Caruso in cash. I need to see Jared Allen news, so I'll say Caruso right now. Do you understand the Knicks Rosers Kemba Walker situation? One of them's gonna have a good game, but usually it would make more sense for me to get those guys if I'm building a ton of lineups. I build one lineup, and like an 11-game slate, that's not something I want to mess with. If I was building 150 lineups, then I would have more room to take some shots on those Knicks guards and hope whoever I play has the upside. But like for my one lineup in higher stakes entries, it doesn't make sense for me to go there. Levine or DeRozan, I think it's basically a toss-up. They're both they're both priced about right, or a little bit underpriced, I should say, with Vucevic out. I like them both. Monty Morris in play for sure. Isaiah Stewart 5K. That price is getting up there. I know, like, if he stays out of foul trouble, I do think he plays over 30 minutes. But God, that guy like JaVale, he's always in foul trouble, and he's no longer like 4K. Like the price is to a point now where it's like that's the same situation with JaVale McGee being 5K. It's like, all right, there's like a 70% chance he gets in foul trouble. At this price point, him getting in foul trouble would hurt a lot more. Caruso or Monte Morris. I'll say Caruso as it stands right now. Like any Hawks, like Herter with Hunter out. Yeah, I think Herter's a pretty good value. He's started the last few games. He's been playing pretty big minutes, and he's sub 4K. So like, if we're going to continue to get over 30 minutes from Kevin Herter, I think he's a good value. Guys, make sure if you're coming in to hit that like button. We're at 26 likes. Let's try to bump those up to maybe 50 or so. I usually leave room for later games, but that's just the way that I play. Dinwiddie, Caruso, THT, Kuzma, Jokic, Davis, Holiday, and Metu. What about your boys? Sabonis, he's 8,800. The price is okay. It's still not a good matchup. I mentioned like him and Brogdon. The price has come down. I think I'd prefer Brogdon, though. Jokic for me. Simons, McCollum, Little, Sabonis, Jokic, Garland, Richardson, Caruso. Yeah, so just keep an eye on the Dame news. Obviously, like, you don't want to play Simons and McCollum if Dame's in, and Little too. So like that's pretty significant. Make sure you have some backup plans. Highland or Aaron Holiday. It's probably Holiday for cash and Highland for GPPs. Jokic for 11.7. I'm fine. Like, if there's a decent amount of value already, I think you can make it work to get Jokic in there. You don't have to play him, but I think he makes for a pretty safe spend up. It's just for the fact of like he's going to play 35 plus minutes as long as the game's competitive. He's going to get you almost a triple double every single time. So Mobley or Spencer Dinwiddie, it again depends on Jared Allen. If Jared Allen's out, I think it's pretty close. I'll say right now it's Dinwiddie for me though. Schroeder, yeah, Schroeder should play like mid-30s minutes. He'll be the number 2 on offense behind Jason Tatum, so that feels like a pretty good price. Bones Highland Love, yeah, he's in play for sure. Sengun, sneaky value tonight. I don't know if we have to go to Sengun as much as I do love playing Sengun. It's just he's a center, so like the opportunity cost, he'll probably get around 20 fancy points, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. So On a smaller slate, that's probably when I would have more interest in Sengun. On a slate like this, with there being potentially really good value, I don't know if I want to go to Sengun. Chetty probably gets more minutes if Jared Allen's out, so would like him a decent amount. I mean, he'll probably get a rebounding boost. They don't really have many other bigs, right? So, maybe Ed Davis enters this rotation. Or, again, they would just move Dean Wade down to, the 4. But, yeah, I think he would get a pretty big, rebounding boost. If you look at, Mobley's already been rebounding the ball pretty well. He's been getting, averaging 7-8 rebounds a game. But, Jared Allen's been feasting on the glass. He's been getting, averaging double-digit rebounds. So I think it would be a pretty big rebounding boost there for Mobley. Caruso, Bones, Powell, AD, Jokic. Yeah. I'm fine with that for tournaments. Lonzo worth a shot today as a contrarian option. I think I prefer DeRozan and Levine for a little bit more. But it's a revenge game. I know people like playing revenge game narrative. So, yeah. Norman Powell. Yeah, again, Norman Powell's role doesn't really change much if Lillard doesn't play. He the only thing I'll say is he probably gets a few extra shots up. But it's not like he's going to be handling the ball a ton more and driving to the basket. I expect Fred VanVleet to play because he practiced yesterday, so was able to practice on Sunday. So I fully expect Fred VanVleet to play. Tori, what's up, man? Okay, so let's see. Do we have any other news? Let's see. So, yeah, Herter starting for Hunter. That's kind of what we expected. Ingram will remain on the minutes limit. Okay, that's interesting. You think Jimmy sits? I think it's pretty 50-50. He missed the last game, so, yeah. Is Rubio a good play? I think he plays around 30 minutes off the bench. He's been pretty productive. I think he's a safe option. Jared Allen, doubtful rather than questionable. Yeah. So, again, just keep an eye on that. I think there's still a chance he plays. Siakam, the thing with the positive there with the Raptors guys is the minutes, right? Siakam, VanVleet, they're going to play big minutes. Memphis-Houston game. It doesn't really stand out in an 11-game slate, but if that's something you feel really good about, you can do it. There's still some pieces that look good. I think Wood's a little bit too cheap. Kevin Porter Jr. plays big minutes. You have Ja on the opposite side. You can take a shot on one of those bigs if you want. Bones, Herter, Chetty is the last man in utility. Chetty, again, depends kind of on Jared Allen for me. So I will say, as it stands right now, probably Herter. Well, I think we're not really waiting much for Bones. Birch, if Precious and Boucher sit, I'm just not going to really mess with. I think it's getting too cute. Siakam's no longer in a minutes limit. The starters are going to play big minutes, right? I think all 5 starters play 35-ish minutes, right? Because you're going to have VanVleet, Trent, Barnes, OG, and Siakam. So I think there's not going to be enough minutes for Kem Birch. Lowry, Hiram, Bam, too priced up. Not if Jimmy's out. If Jimmy's out, they still look good. Yeah, I think Mobley would look good. My only concern is what ownership would be. That's the early game, and we might not get news for some of those later games for a while. So, that might be the only piece of news we get for a little bit. And I think, people sometimes overreact. And everyone's like, oh, my God, Jared Allen's out. We have to play Evan Mobley. But they don't think of the context of the slate. It's well, what's his ownership going to be? What happens if these guys sit in the late game? So, for example, would I rather play Evan Mobley? Would I rather play Evan Mobley or Jared Allen out, or Bam Adebayo against the Thunder or Jimmy Butler out, give me Bam Adebayo 100% of the time there, right? So it's just like one of those situations where you might have the field overreact to Mobley news, or to Jared Allen news, I should say. Who gets ejected tonight? Probably someone in my lineup. Probably not Cam Reddish. No, I think I feel more comfortable at Herter in his minutes. 4,600 utility. Okay, let's see. 46. I'll say McGee right now, assuming that DeAndre Ayton misses or doesn't play, I should say. Edwards or OG, neither really stand out to me. So I guess Edwards, but yeah. Should I play Simons without McCollum if Dame is not really room for a good pivot off Simons? Should I play Simons without McCollum if Dame in not really room for good pivot off Simons? So I'm kind of confused what you're saying there. Dinwiddie, Herter, Kuzma, Metu, Mobley, McCollum, THT, and AD. Okay, is THT a lock? No, but I think if he starts again, he's a good value. I prefer Herter because I think he plays more minutes. He's close. He's close to 3 bills, I think. I mean, from what I saw a video of him warming up a couple of weeks ago, and he's probably close there. Any reason Metu's popular? Metu started last game. He's a good fantasy producer, and they're playing Detroit. So assuming he starts again, he played 24 minutes. I think it would make him a decent value. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up another minute or so. So any last-minute questions, throw them in here. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys. We hit about 150 concurrent viewers, 50-plus likes. Thank you guys again. I feel like Fox is going to kill it tonight. Yeah, if you feel that way, then play him. For me, with a fully healthy team, it doesn't really stand out. But, if Butler out, can you play Lowry and Bam? Yeah, you can play both. Bagley and Tristan Thompson being washed is why Metu's in play. Yeah, I just think the Kings needed to switch some things up, right? Killian Hayes, viable, does have a ceiling, but also has a very low floor. I don't think he's gonna be super popular. So Hero or Rubio, it depends on Butler news. If Butler's out, it's Hero for me. Oh wow, okay, Jalen Suggs ruled out. That changes some things. Richardson available, Horford available. Probably the under in Jimmy G, just because I think there's a chance Trey Lance gets worked in. I think the upset's higher in Caruso than it is Aaron Holiday. Favorite OKC run back? No one. If Baisley's out, then maybe Kenrich if he starts. But I don't really trust anyone on the Thunder. Bam and D'Angelo Russell or Mobley and CJ. And it's hard to say without news. So I can't really answer that because 3 of those 4 players are depending on news for me. So I wish I had a better answer, but yeah, no Suggs tonight. Yeah, so monitor the starting lineup there. Baller's out. Do you think it's pretty necessary to get some Miami exposure? I think the way the Miami Heat guys fail if Jimmy Butler's out is if the game blows out. That's the way they're going to fail. If the game stays competitive, you're going to need Miami exposure. All right, guys. Thanks again for coming to check out the NBA stream. Good luck on the slate, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow.